Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to go over how I make dubstep basses using Serum 2. So to start off, just go to the drop down here and press Spectral. So what you can do with Spectral Oscillator is you can actually drag in samples, PNG files, wavetables, which is what I'm going to do. So I have a bunch of wavetables from Vital that I like, so I'll use this one here. This is what it sounds like. Sounds pretty cool. So Uh, what I like to do start off is I don't like the low end that comes with a lot of the samples I import. So I made just a quick high pass preset. So what you'll see is when I drag this from left to right, it'll take out more of the low end here. Okay, sounds a lot cleaner. So the reason I do this is I usually use a external sub, and I'll just use that to distort against this, and it'll sound really full. So from here, what I like to do is a Spectral Oscillator has a manual mode. Basically, what this does is turn it into a wavetable almost. The position knob, which was the scan knob, basically turns into wavetable position. So that sounds pretty cool. So from here, what I'm going to do is use LFO1 to control volume. Just a quick quarter note rhythm. Then LFO2, I'm going to put that on the position knob. Go set that to half notes. From here, I like to use the warp modes basically every single time. So gate, basically what this does is the less prominent harmonics, which is more like the noise in this case, is taken out the more I go up. Spectral gate. The reason I do this is if I clean up the sound early, I can distort it a lot more later on and it'll still be clean. Yeah, it sounds pretty cool. So for the second warp mode, I'm actually going to use phase distortion, which is essentially FM from Serum 1. So you got to turn on Oscillator B, and then I'm going to turn this all the way down. So it's just used to affect the phase distortion knob. So just see now that I have this turned on, I'll turn this up. You can hear the saw wave imprinting itself on the sound. So from here, I'm going to change it to a sine wave. It's a lot more like it's like a wet kind of sound. Yeah, it sounds pretty cool. So I'm going to use LFO2 to again affect the tone. Yeah, it sounds pretty cool. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and add the external sub as well. So what you can do is in the top right corner of the oscillator, you can press on the drop down and then go to direct out. So it won't go through the effects chain here. So, and I'm going to put the volume knob on that as well. And what I like to do to make my sub a little bit stronger is I add some harmonics. When you press the pencil knob right here, this is like the wavetable editor. So all these bins are adding harmonics to the sine wave. So usually with bin 2, I just put it around here. You can see it makes Makes the low end a bit stronger. You can do this to taste. You can do a bunch of different bends and hear how it sounds, but usually I just keep it simple. Sounds good enough to me. Sounds cool. So from here, I'm actually going to direct the oscillator A to filter 1. Looks like it's already directed there. But if you needed to, you just press on the drop down there and then filter, and then you can route it to either 1 or 2, or you can actually put it in the middle as well. You want to go through both. So the reason I'm doing this is you'll notice if I turn this off, there's constant high ends, so there's not as much dynamics. So what I'm going to do is put the LFO that's doing the volume on the cutoff. It's a lot more dynamic. I'm going to turn down the resonance all the way down as well. And then I'm going to actually route this into filter 2 as well. I'm going to do a high pass. Same thing, going to use the volume LFO to put on the cutoff. Drag this resonance up. I'm actually going to use the LFO on the resonance as well. I don't like the sound when it gets all the way to the top of the LFO, so I'm going to make it go, the resonance go backwards. That's pretty cool. I'm going to add some fat as well. Yeah, I think that sounds pretty cool. I'm going to experiment with different wavetables. I think it's already sounding really cool. So from here, I would just start trying to fatten it up and maybe add some delay to give it more rhythm. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start off with a multiband factory preset, MBOTT. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn this release up so it's a little bit more dynamic. I'm gonna turn up the gain. It sounds really cool. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and just, for the sake of this video, since I'm not doing post-processing, outside of Serum, which I usually do, is why I direct it out. I'm gonna send it to the main as well. Alright. Sounds a lot fatter with the OTT on there. So I'm actually going to just try some different distortion modes out. Okay, so from here, just kind of doing whatever you want to your taste. Why not? Could do is actually going to use a low-high splitter here, and I'm going to put on the highs a hyper slash dimension to give it more stereo width. The reason I do the splitter low-high is I don't want the sub to be affected by the hyper dimension. I want my sub to stay mono. A lot of times you'll see me turn effect all the way up. I just do that to hear it completely, so I know exactly what I'm doing. Might try some dimension as well. I'm gonna put the size really low. Yeah, it sounds cool. Just a little bit in there. Here also, you can put a utility at the end, basically to make sure that your bass is monoed here. So I'm gonna set this to like 150. So everything below 150 will be mono. Just use that as a safety measure, just in case. From here, you basically have your sound made, and you can just do random effects to taste. Just throw a chorus on there and see what happens. There's a cool preset called Kitsune that I use occasionally. Oh, and I did forget about that delay I was talking about. I use delays with short feedback a lot to add some more rhythm to like simple quarter note stuff like this. So I'm gonna put this on 8th note triplets. Just put it down the dry wet pretty low, so you can just kind of hear in the background doing rhythm. From here, you just experiment. If y'all have any questions, just put some down in the comments below, and I appreciate y'all watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe.